everybody, what's going on? Happy Wednesday and welcome to RotoWorld's DFS Pick 6 presented by RotoGrinders. I'm Eric Crane and I am joined, as I am every single Wednesday night, by two of the best in the business. We got Lord Reeves, Rich Reeves. Reeves, how we doing, buddy?
Doing real good, man. You know, is we reminded by the Eric Crane, short slate, magical calls last week. It's easy when people come and hear, Evan's wisdom and my nonstop jargon. But, there's one person that does this professionally for a living.
Yep.
And it's you. So as I'm for sure going to step over you 3 to 4 times in some plays I objectively don't want to play that you're going to recommend, I just want to let you know that I appreciate you, Eric.
I mean, I got laughed at for Big Burn, and they just came through. Evan, how you doing, man? How was your Thanksgiving?
I'm doing all right. We just had so I play in these high stakes main event season-long leagues on NF or was it
NFBC?
My FFPC, $1,800 entry.
Yeah.
We had 2 teams. One did not make the playoffs. We finished like 5 and 6. The second one though was like awesome. And it's like just hitting its stride. And our last waiver, tonight was the last waiver period, and we really wanted to get, because Seahawks defense at home against Nick Mullins was on the waiver wire, but also Tennessee defense at home against Darnold or McCown was on the waiver wire. So our priority was, and like all these little, I know that people don't understand, like people are probably like, who cares? But like all these little things like really matter. And we did not get Seahawks defense at home against Nick Mullins, but we did get Titans defense at home against McCown/Darnold. So we were very happy about that. And we also, again, I know that this sounds like minutia to most people, but we had Vinatieri on the grass kicking at Jacksonville, and we wanted to get Prater at home in the Ford Field Dome kicking against the Rams, and we got him.
Nice.
So we felt, and we had $18 left for our fab. You start with 1,000. Okay. We had $18 left, and we got, pretty much like our, like stuff that was high on our priority list. And, we're already up, but the next week is like $4,000. And then the weeks after that are like, a lot more. So I'm like big into this. I think the best way to play is to not, a lot of people try to play like they do like 10 teams in these main event things. And, with like $1,800 on the line, I think the best way to play is just a couple of teams. So you can just devote all your powers into that. Maybe just even one team. I think that's how I think is optimal, is just one team. But yeah, I'm really excited. Like we have an awesome team, and we have Galladay, we have Tyreek Hill, we have Jared Goff and Lamar Jackson. We have, our tight ends are rolling right now. It's tight end premium. And so I'm really excited. Hopefully we can get like a top 100 finish. I think that would be great for the rep, and also great for the wallet, which is the most important.
The wallet's the most important. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Where was Matt Lacoste? Why was Matt Lacoste not picked up?
Matt Lacoste. So we didn't need him. We didn't need him because
everyone needs Matt Lacoste.
Well, we need him on our DFS teams. Let's just jump to that.
All right, let's just. Evan, I'm sweating. By the way, Evan, I need wins this week in my super high stake league this year. The one that I might have.
Well, let's hear about it, man. Let's hear about it. No, I know I've given you a ton of shit about this. Sorry.
Yeah. No.
I want you have like any tough decisions this week? People love to hear about this shit.
No. I've got I'm a partner. I don't have the full team obviously, but I'm a partner.
Yeah, that's fine.
2 different $50,000 buy-in leagues, and I'm running. And we're like on the stone bubble of the playoffs. And had I just like drafted and hibernated for 6 months, I'm pretty sure we'd be the number 1 seed. So like basically I've screwed up these teams as much as I possibly could have, but we're still like but I need to win, and I need like 1 or 2 guys to win ahead of me to make the playoffs. And like the guys that I need to win ahead of me are big favorites this week. So I'm going to be sweating that pretty hard, because first place in each one is about $400,000. So, but I'll tell you what, inside bets, because we got like 70 a week in side bets. We're up 160,000 so far. So times are good over here. Yeah, it's a good time. So, by the way, we're going to be doing more of that. Evan, Rich, you and I will have to talk later, because we're going to be partying next year. I can promise you that. All right, let's go ahead and jump into
I just want to wake up in a Bugatti. You feel me?
Yeah, the Crane Gotti. We got it. I got you.
Crane Gotti? Is that what you call it?
Crane Gotti, yeah.
Okay.
That's the Crane's Bugatti. Obviously. I'm killing it today. All right, let's talk about a game that I was a little bit surprised we're actually going to talk about. It's Denver at Cincinnati, 44-point total. Denver, they're 5.5-point favorites on the road. And Reeves, let's face it, this Bengals defense has just kind of quit, haven't they?
Dude, we talked on them a few weeks ago on the show, and man, this defense is just horrible. I had the game last week, and we have a Slack channel, RotoWorld Slack channel, and I dropped in the Slack channel when the Bengals forced the Browns to punt in the third quarter. It was the first time they forced a punt in 17 straight offensive possessions for their opponent that spanned over 3 games.
That's impressive.
I mean, they're the only team.
I think you need to say that one more time slowly so people can really understand what that means.
Yeah, in the National Football League, the opponents against the Bengals went 17 straight drives without punting. Over the span of it was from the Tampa Bay game through that point in the Cleveland game that no team had even punted against the Bengals. They're the only team in the league now that's allowed opponents to score on over half of their drives in the league. Opponents have scored on 57% of their possessions. They're just bad, man. They don't force anyone to come out of any type of script. They get run on. They get passed on. Their linebackers are a joke in coverage. Philip Lindsay's going to roll. Philip Lindsay's become my favorite player this year. Just aesthetically, this dude is shot out of a cannon on every play. I've never seen a guy, I can't recall the last few years, that just hits full speed as fast as he does. I was a Royce Freeman advocate, and when I watch Royce Freeman come in the game, it's like watching the game in slow motion, compared to when Philip Lindsay gets touches, man. And even since Royce Freeman's come back the past 2 weeks, he's at 106, 110 yards. He's out-touched him 29-14. He's getting goal line carries. It's just a great, great spot again to keep riding Philip Lindsay, and his hair is impeccable. I'm all in on Philip Lindsay this year.
Man. Yeah, and by the way, it's one of the nice things about this slate, and Evan, you can touch on this, is it's not that expensive to be all in on Philip Lindsay. He's only 5.4K over on DK. He's gone over 20 in 3 of his last 4. We can expect probably about 20 touches from Philip Lindsay against a brutal defense. Evan,
that's a lot.
Yeah. I can't think of a reason
that's
not.
A lot. Can't expect 20 touches. But
I'm talking about carries.
I wanted to ask Reeves on a personal level. Does he like Philip Lindsay's hair because it reminds him? Well, first of all, you have to understand Reeves is from Cleveland. Okay, what's the? All right, here's a pop quiz, Crane. What's the famous rap group from the city of Cleveland? Don't tell him, Reeves.
I just don't know this. I've been listening to a lot of Outkast lately, but I know they're from Atlanta, so that's all I got.
Okay. It's called Bone Thugs and Harmony. Man.
Oh, I'm not going to start rapping, but I like some bone. Yeah. Some bone.
Yeah. So, I just want to ask, is this bias due to, for the hair? Is it due to because you think that Philip Lindsay's hair reminds you of Busy Bone?
Yeah, that might be part of it too. He also reminds me of the guy from, I think it's LMFAO, the Party Rock guy that sings Party Rock. He looks just like that dude. He almost looks exactly like that guy.
When you were talking about Cleveland, I thought you were going to talk about Anderson Varejão's hair or something. That's right.
No. Actually, that would have been a decent
comment.
That is true. That would have been a decent comment, yeah. But anyways, I love Philip Lindsay, but he's not going to get 20 touches. I don't understand. Why don't they give him more receptions? He caught a ton of passes in college, but they love using Devontae Booker in the passing game. So for as fun and exciting as Philip Lindsay is, and for as great of a value he was in both real life, he was undrafted, and in fantasy leagues, he was undrafted in fantasy leagues too. Is he tilting fantasy games for you right now? Because he's not having 6-7 catch games.
What's
his price on DK?
He's only 5.4K.
Okay.
At that price, I see no reason to be concerned about Philip Lindsay. Even if 15 touches, 15 touches is pretty much the floor. We can agree on that. Yeah. So if he's between 15,
he had 14 last week.
Okay, yeah, and didn't catch a single ball. I don't think that's going to happen again. So to me, if I'm getting 15 touches out of Philip Lindsay against this Bengals, Evan, I would play you if I got 15 touches out of you against this Bengals defense right now. Like, I just struggle to see a reason not to play Philip Lindsay. So I know
I feel like Philip Lindsay and I's yards per carry average would be vastly different. But
but I mean, you're more of a power runner.
I do feel like I could cover Matt Lacoste though. Like you could cover Eric Tomlinson.
No, I mean Evan's point is good. We got a few of these guys on the slate because Breida's like a similar type of dude,
right?
Like, these guys can get the multiple touchdown game, where if they don't get the touchdown, like basically say if this guy doesn't get the touchdown, what do you have? Empty calorie yards, 100 yards with one catch. I get that.
The Gus Edwards week.
Yeah.
Look again. I just wish that they use him in the passing game more. That's it. Like I love Philip Lindsay. I think at 5,400, he's okay. He's okay.
What about a guy like Emmanuel Sanders, somebody who we've seen him have some big games? He gets a matchup against Cincinnati. Yeah. Obviously, it's what you say? No.
What's his DK price?
6,300.
Yeah.
No, I like Phil. I like Manny Sanders. 12 targets last week, 86 yards and a touchdown. Weeks before that, 6 targets, 9 targets. Reeves, what do you think about Manny Sanders, or even Cortland Sutton, who everybody still loves?
I just want to start skirting around the issue. Are you going to be on Case Keenum this week or not?
No. Do not make me walk off this show.
Are you going to finally embrace the best play on the slate, or what?
I haven't embraced the best play on a slate in 4 years. I don't think I'm going to start.
I'm actually honestly more interested in Sutton than I am Manny Sanders. I think Manny Sanders is probably. I have a similar take on Manny Sanders that Evan just had on Philip Lindsay. I think he's like a great season-long play. I just don't know if he's like a dude that's going to drop like a big crooked number. I think he's gonna have a really good game, maybe score a touchdown. I think he's fine. I have no negative things to say about him. I mean, I look at where the Bengals like really struggle though. I mean, it's on the boundary, man. They're 25th in points allowed to boundary receivers on the season. I know Sutton has only caught 3 or 4 passes in all his games this year, every game. But they did run into like a really like tricky slate, and it opens up this back half, like this last stretch. It opens up. And man, if he's gonna pop over the stretch, I mean, it's dialed up for him in these matchups. And obviously, you can't play him in cash or anything like that. But he is a guy I'm interested because no one really wants to play him because they've chased the ghost for a couple weeks, with Cortland Sutton. But there were bad weeks to chase him. He faced the number 1 defense in deep ball percentage, like playing deep balls the Steelers last week. The week before, he played the Chargers, who hadn't allowed a top 24 wide receiver since week 2. I just think that it lines up for him to be like the sneaky guy to go with because Keenum's going to pop, Crane. Keenum's popping, and someone's got to go with him.
I hate Case Keenum so much. Speaking of, like, I was talking about that high stakes.
I don't like him either, Crane.
Had I never played Case Keenum.
No one likes him.
Nobody likes him.
No one actually. Does anyone actually like him?
No, like even his family doesn't like him. It's really awkward at Thanksgiving, but what are you going to do?
That's weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, Case.
Yeah, it's not fun, but we don't like to talk about it. It's just, it's sort of.
He deserves it, though. He deserves it.
Evan, what do you think about Sutton and what do you think about Manny Sanders? Because I just can't get behind Sutton, man. He's never had more than he's never hit 11 DK points. Like
I like him when he's either in a great spot or when no one else likes him. And I think that this is the week to like him, actually. I don't. What's his DK price? I don't.
42.
4,200.
Yeah. See, he's not even that. I mean, he should be like 34.
I mean, I just don't see the reason to do it. Like, maybe he'll have a good game, but you can say that about so many guys.
Well, he's the stack. He's the stack.
Oh, you're going to pair him with Case?
Oh, yeah.
Guy, people think I hate money. Man, oh, man.
CNC Music Factory, bro.
I mean, when you factor in the costs, it pays the cost to be the boss. When you factor in the cost, like how many touchdowns is Case Keenum going to throw? That's a lot.
I don't know. That's a lot.
Lacoste, Sutton, Keenum, while everyone chases Manny and Lindsay.
All right. You sold me.
Okay, what about this Cincinnati side? Because Jeff Driscoll started.
Wait, you got to let Evan talk about Lacoste, man, for real. Because he's legit. He's legit.
I think Lacoste is legit.
Talk to me about the costs.
Well, me and Reeves and Pat Thorman, we had this, this text thread, and Reeves is always throwing out these just trash tight ends. And I mean, just the worst tight end players. They always get zeros every week.
I always punt tight end in cash.
But Reeves crushes every week anyways, because like tight end doesn't matter. We got
Means
Frisco.
nothing.
We got Frisco Josh out here telling us that defense doesn't matter. We got Derek Carty out here telling us that interceptions don't matter. What really doesn't matter is tight ends. All right, and once you master that, that's when you start making the money. And Reeves he's mastered that. He played like David Greenidge.
That's not a real person.
No, I went to Shaughnessy that week because Greenidge got cut.
Oh yeah, that was bold. Bold move. So, anyways, Reeves out here, just taking all the money, and he's playing all these trash tight ends. Matt Lacoste is an actually good tight end at a trash tight end's cost. Matt Lacoste is 6'6", 257 pounds, ran 4.71 coming out of Illinois. No one produced at Illinois. Who was their quarterback at the time? Juice Williams. Juice Williams was their quarterback.
Juice Williams was the man.
NCAA football on fleek. Juice Williams, though. Man.
On fleek. On fleek. Matt Lacoste had a 44-yard gain in that game against the Texans. You remember the game that Hoyerman went off? Think if they would have thrown those targets to Matt Lacoste. His lone target went for a 44-yard gain. Okay? Last week, Hoyerman goes down. Matt Lacoste goes off, 3 catches, 34 yards, and a touchdown. So, it's just everything is just, the seas are like parting like Moses for Matt Lacoste.
And Howerman led the team leading the team in red zone targets and targets inside the 10.
Yep.
And where did he come and get his target when it came time for the money zone? That system is just, they have plays dialed up for that position.
I really better see that your team's Reeves with the double stack with Lacoste and Cortland Sutton.
They will be.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. I get it. I mean, look, he's min price. Like, I'm always going to have interested in starting tight end that min price.
So let me ask you this. Okay, Okay. So on FanDuel, you have Matt Lacoste to be the boss at 4,700. You have Cameron Brate at 4,900. Cameron Brate is kind of a chump, right? He's slow. All he can do is just like stand there in the end zone and hope that no one covers him and Winston throws it to him, right?
Yeah, but that happens.
But then you have Lacoste, who's just like, he's a hustler, dude, and he's real fast, and he's got actual athleticism, but he's also got Case Keenum at quarterback. So, and he costs 200 less. So where do you go in this scenario?
I mean, personally, I probably just will attack the game with the highest total on the board.
Well, that would be Cameron Brate then.
Yeah, I mean, I get it with Lacoste. I actually think he's a little bit more attractive on DK just because is there anybody else even down in that range? Like, he's just the only guy that's been priced this week.
What's his price?
He's 25.
Oh, my God.
Uh-oh. Oh, Evan's excited.
I'm going to have to put some money on DK this week.
Yeah, no. I mean, I get it, but I assume one thing you won't be doing is putting money on DK to play Jeff Driscoll. Evan, give us a scouting report on Jeff Driscoll.
Oh, wow. I'm going to throw this one to Reeves because I have strong opinions, but I want to hear Reeves first because Reeves is a nut, man. He plays like Devy. Do you play Devy, Reeves?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Dude, look, Devy, do people even know what Devy is? Do you know what Devy is, Crane?
Not a clue.
You start looking at dudes in high school.
Okay,
so – and I mean, I'm not like hating on Devy. Like I love it. I love like the minutia of it all. But Reeves is, he's a wild man. So with Driscoll, he was a 5-star recruit, right?
Reeves? I don't recall if he was a 5-star recruit. Okay. He wasn't a guy that really wasn't on my radar till college. Okay. I mean, I typically so I'm like 50-50. Like I use a lot of my Devy stuff as currency in a lot of those leagues because, a lot of these guys, it's starting to come around, guys have come around, but I started to use it as, able to get, commodities that are proven for, hey man, you can draft this high school dude. It's going to be really good in like 6 years. Basically, sell those magic beans, the Lachey Seastrunk. Hey man, you got to get Lake Seastrunk. Like, got to grab him, man. You better get him now.
Crane, do you remember Seastrunk? Do you remember Seastrunk out of Baylor? Last Seastrunk out of Baylor. He played for the Jets. No one remembers him.
No, I do because he was a high school stud.
Yes, he was.
Yes, that's what I remember about him.
Okay. But on the real, lightly. Driscoll's my kind of guy though because he's like not very good, but he's super athletic, and that's like my wheelhouse. It's like really all I care about. Yeah. He ran like a 4.55 at the combine.
Yep.
It might have been the fastest QB of that class, or maybe the second. And then he was drafted by the 49ers. They cut him. He didn't make the squad. He came in at the end of that Bengals blowout to the Saints and had like a 30-yard touchdown run. He had a sneak touchdown run last week. He's gonna run, man. He's gonna give you rushing yards, hair on fire rushing yards. He's not gonna give you much in the passing game. Even last week, he had like 5.3 yards per attempt, and it was like junk script. But he's gonna run around, man, for sure.
If he was $5K, I would play him in cash.
Okay,
I would.
Well, he's 4,500, so.
Well, I'm sorry. If he was $5K on FanDuel, I'd play him in cash. He's 6,400, unfortunately. FanDuel is making a mistake pricing up these backup dudes. Like, I don't understand it.
I don't know. Last week I thought they were making a mistake when Nick Mullins was bare minimum, and that obviously joke was on me.
We told you that he was. We told you.
It's the Bucs. Everybody throws in the Bucs.
Defenses don't matter, Crane.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Sorry, I completely forgot. All right, so Evan, it sounds like you actually like Driscoll a little bit this week.
I do. Again, I mean, I like him for the same reasons that Reeves does. You know, he's real fast. I have liked him in the preseasons in past years. I mean, I'm huge on preseason, and it's not always predictive, you know, and I'm very well aware of that. But he's been really good in the preseasons past couple of years. He ran one time all this preseason. That concerned me a little bit. But, hey, when he got in the real games, he started running. And the preseason before, he ran a bunch. He's facing a defense that in real scary. I think this is a letdown spot for the Broncos, by the way. This is a major letdown spot.
No. I'm starting the Broncos defense in both my leagues.
Hey, they're super sketchy.
Whoa. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Their last 7 East Coast games, they've lost by double-digit points.
I'm banked on the Broncos. I'm not getting off the Broncos defense this week.
Get ready to donate.
That's what I've been, dude. I am. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm talking about in my high stakes leagues. I'm starting Broncos there.
I know. I wouldn't start them in my high stakes leagues. Get Titans, man. Titans.
Let's see. I don't even think the Titans might be available. I don't know. I like the.
Anyways, well, I mean, that's fine. You can donate. I'm sure that everyone else will appreciate it.
Dude, half the people in those leagues don't even start defense. Whatever.
Oh, really? Jeez, that's crazy. Anyways,
poker players.
Yeah, I like the Konami code, you know, for sure. AJ Green says he's playing. That's huge. So he's gonna have essentially a full arsenal. He's got AJ Green, he's got Tyler Boyd, he's got John, the touchdown scorer Ross, who does nothing except for score touchdowns. How blessed is he? And then CJ Uzoma is the guy who he's targeted. Have you looked at the target splits, Reeves, for Driscoll?
Yeah, it's in the worksheet, bro. I dropped him.
Okay, all right, yeah. I always read the worksheet on Saturday after I'm done with it.
Oh, yeah. But you can go ahead, go for it.
But Uzoma, like Driscoll loves Uzoma. It's like, I mean, usually when you see, you know, like I always like to look at like the backup quarterbacks, you know, who was he targeted over the course of the season. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's kind of like level, you know, but like it's a massive spike for Uzoma for Jeff Driscoll. So I think that makes Uzoma a little bit interesting. But again, I mean, he's got the full arsenal here, you know, and facing this West Coast team in a 1 p.m. Eastern time game, entering a major letdown spot. I mean, huge upset at home over the Steelers. That was huge.
And that they beat the Chargers the week before.
They're going to lose. They're going to lose to the Bengals. They're going to.
I mean, two big wins.
The Broncos are going to lose the Bengals. Are you ready for this?
Oh, I hope it's 6-3.
What's the what's the spread here?
4 and 5.5.
Yeah, 4.5. Yeah.
5.5 now. So
and the Broncos are favored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
All right. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm nuts.
That's free money. That's free money.
All right, I'm just going to play the defense.
I mean, I don't know that necessarily that the Bengals are going to win, but if you're catching like over 3 points, that's absurd. That's absurd.
All
Driscoll is not. I mean, look, man, he lost his starting job at Florida to something named Trayon Harris. Have you heard of Trayon Harris?
I have not. No.
Nor have I.
I do not have his Oregon card.
Nor have I. But I mean, he's not necessarily good, at all. But I mean, that's crazy. Like Broncos are. I mean, I think that's the easiest bet of the week.
So, who are you playing on the Bengals then, Reeves? Anybody?
I mean, if I'm going to cross deck, I think definitely if Green's going to play, no one's going to want to play him because he's been hurt. And their team, the other team, the other side too. The Broncos are terrible on the boundary. Bradley Roby, man, this dude he was all right to start his career. He just had a rough year, man. He was the guy that got toasted on the Juju long ball. He had another one.
Robbie Anderson cooked him up.
Yeah, he's been giving a lot of big plays. Juju had another 80-yarder that should have been, but he kind of stumbled and it didn't get completed. They've just struggled. I mean, that Chris Harris on the inside, he's good. The other two guys, not good. Ball goes to the outside. And Driscoll hasn't played with Green, so I mean, you might give him some pepper. I believe AJ Green's quote today was, "It doesn't matter. He's just got to put it in the air. I'll go get it."
I love that. You know why? Because he's going to get open against Tremaine Brock or Roby or whatever. I mean, he knows. Like, AJ Green is like a student of the game. He watches tape, dude.
He's the anti-Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah, what was that story about Jamarcus Russell, by the way?
They used to give him blank tapes to take home to study game film.
Yeah,
and he would always come back and be like, "Oh yeah, no, I loved it because
I watched the blitz packages."
Yeah, because the team was so convinced that he wasn't watching the tape. Like,
and he was like, "I watched the blitz packages," and then the guys are like, "There were no blitz packages on the tape." There were no blitz packages.
All right, well, let's move on. Let's talk Carolina at Tampa. 54.5 point total. The Panthers on the road, 3.5 point favorites. And, last week I just totally bombed with Nick Mullins. Obviously that didn't work out. Reeves, are the Panthers going to have a better day than the 49ers did?
Yes. The Bucks have really jarring home road splits, where their games are all shootouts on the road and they're all low scoring at home. But it's kind of opponent induced. They played some really bad quarterbacks at home. Cam Newton is not a really bad quarterback. He's actually having one of the best years of his career. He still got that streak where he's thrown multiple touchdowns, in every game since week 1. They faced Mullins last week. They faced Alex Smith at home. They faced Nick Foles, and then Baker actually was a top 6 QB against them. The other guys weren't. And then Roethlisberger got him for 24. I think they're going to have a similar matchup to this game where the Panthers score points on them, and the Panthers defense is also bad. Their pass defense especially is bad. So you're going to get some back and forth. They allowed 4 touchdowns to Ryan Fitzpatrick when these teams played a few weeks ago. So you might get some turnover still, but definitely like the Panthers side a lot. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is in some kind of zone right now. This dude has, multiple touchdowns in 4 of his past 5 games. The thing we were worried about Christian McCaffrey the most, even we didn't care, but the snap counts were great. All that stuff was like, is this dude going to get the money touches? And he's getting the money touches. He leads the league with 18 touches inside the 10-yard line since week 8. Cam is not getting any of those carries inside the 5. They're all going to Christian McCaffrey. He's just been smashing. Last week he had the most points that a running back anyone's had in a game last week. He already put 157 and 2 touchdowns up on this Bucs defense. I obviously don't need to wax politically about how good of a play he is. I remember last time these two teams played, Cam Newton was the chalk, and they run up 28-0, and Cam Newton didn't have a touchdown. And he didn't even have a touchdown.
And he ended up salvaging his Tampa came back in that game.
Yeah.
He wound up being fine, but we were expecting 45, and he scored 21.
Yeah. They went up 28-0, and they were all rushing touchdowns, the first 4 touchdowns.
Alex Armah. I knew shit was going wrong when Alexander Armah, the fullback out of freaking Navy, scored the first touchdown of the game. I was like, here we go. Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go.
It's going to happen. And that if you were to just show one person, one play to say, how'd the Bucs play defense this year? You would just show them that Curtis Samuel end around in that game and say, yeah, this was the Bucs season on defense. He ran 100 yards back and forth across the field like it was Tecmo Bowl and wasn't even touched, just zigzagging up and down on the field. But yeah, I like going back. I think Cam's in an obviously smash spot for Cam.
Yeah, like I like Cam and I like Chris McCaffrey. Like it. I mean, Evan, you play a lot of cash games. Is McCaffrey a guy that you're kind of starting your teams with?
I haven't built enough teams to think that way yet.
Okay.
I've been trying to build my teams like I used to in NBA, where you like the way that you start your teams is with all the value plays at each position. And then you kind of just decide like, hey, who am I going to pay up for? Like last week it was Saquon Barkley, and then, I would think that I would pivot up to Christian McCaffrey. I'm not sure yet, especially on the Thursday through Monday slate, because man, Austin Eckler and Josh Adams are like,
dude, there's so many good cheat like that
fire, bro.
Like
fire, bro.
The
fire,
mid-range,
bro.
The mid-range is so strong this week.
It's hard, man. It's honestly hard, like especially on the 16 game slates. Like we have no buys,
Mm-hmm.
Like me and Reeves are going to lose our minds for the next so month or whatever. So listen to nothing that we say. But like, I mean, you on the Thursday through Monday you have Josh Adams and Austin Eckler. It's like, how are you not going to play them?
Yeah,
I mean,
Eckler's 54 on FanDuel.
He's a lock button.
Duh.
He's just a lock button.
What's Adams? What's Adams?
I forget at the check.
He's probably priced up a little bit over there. But I mean, it's just like you just play these guys and you figure it out. Right. But like on the main slate, like Chris McCaffrey, I mean, we always talk about what's his upside. Well, he flashed it last week, 100, a few times in the box. Like,
oh, he's a monster. He's
a monster.
And
he does everything. Like Chris McCaffrey is the kind of guy who's just never going to have a bad game because of the amount of balls that he catches.
Absolutely.
Adams is 61 on FanDuel.
I mean, that's tough to get away from. He's got like a 16 touch floor as a home favorite against the Redskins, who have just collapsed as a team. I think those are 2-year RBs. And then you decide, is it going to be McCaffrey? Is it going to be Gurley? Is it going to be, Saquon? I mean, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But with McCaffrey, I mean, yeah, he's an unbelievable play, and I don't know what else to say. Like the Bucs don't have a linebacker core, man. Like they don't have linebackers.
Yeah. So Reeves, you mentioned this was a smash spot for Cam, and obviously he disappointed in this last game in the last game in the spot. I assume you're going back to Cam pretty heavily this week too.
Yeah, he's definitely in my core group of probably 3 to 4 quarterbacks I'm going to be in. It's tough this week because we got that full slate, and there's some guys in some great spots. I mean, I guess we'll talk about these guys later. I mean, obviously Mahomes is in like an ultimate destruct spot. He could throw 5 touchdowns in the first half of that game, and probably cruise
on his first 5 passes, dog.
Who's
stopping him? Who's stopping him?
No, it's crazy. I mean, he's in a great spot. I mean, I think on the other side too, like Winston still hasn't been priced like up. He just keeps floating. Like the Bucs QBs just stay the same price because I don't know if people feel like they can trust them at this point. Like Winston his price didn't even change. I think he went up a little bit on DK. I don't think he's a tremendous play there. But like on FanDuel, he's 75 again. Like that's like the group. That's like the price range you try to play a guy in cash. Like who's going to get me 20 points? Like that's around like 7,500 that I can just plug in because I want to play. We touched on like it's a great week for mid-tier running backs, but like typically the lineup construction that's just smashed in cash on FanDuel is just playing three really good running backs because those are the guys getting 25 to 30 points a game. Don't pay up for receiver because it just has not been a pay up for receiver year on either side, to be honest. Because the way the passing games have like crazy thing is like there's all these passing points, but it's not really getting funneled to the top of the position. That it's just there's passing points all over for everyone to have this season, and it's just been a great year to pay up for these top running backs and load your rosters with them because those are the guys tilting weeks. Those are the guys getting the 30-point games. I mean, if you had Saquon and Christian McCaffrey last week as a starting block, you were already in. Yeah, you didn't have to do anything. You had nothing else. You had nothing else to worry about.
You could have played Nick Mullins. You could have played Nick Mullins, and you would have made money.
Right. And I feel like we have another one of these spots again this week. Even we have all these great running back plays. I mean, you can play Christian McCaffrey, Kareem Hunt, and like Aaron Jones and just walk away from the table. Just play those 3 guys and walk away. But you've got all these great.
Aaron Jones is fire. Oh my God.
Yeah, tremendous spot. But Yeah, but I mean, and DJ Moore, we were on the Panthers too. He's taken over. He's like the wide receiver one for that team now. They kind of moved him out of like where they're kind of mix and matching his routes inside the slot and on the boundary. He's moved strictly outside, and has 22 targets his past 3 games. I don't think we'll get a repeat performance where everyone wanted to play him against the Bucs last time and he only had 2 targets. I think that we'll definitely see the targets be funneled to him once again.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I like him. I mean, I like all the Panthers, man. It's just tough not to like the Panthers. Evan, do you like any of these secondary Panthers guys?
Do you like him as much as that one dude's wife likes to watch the show? Because
nobody likes anybody as much as that one dude's wife likes to watch this show. That's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, this game has a huge total. It's just going to come down to like, is Funchess going to play? It's not looking good right now for him. DJ Moore, his price didn't go up enough. He wasn't owned enough last week. I know he didn't score a touchdown, but he had over 90 yards. He's the number 1 receiver on the team. Like whether or not I think Funchess plays, Olsen is in a great spot. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry here. Like, can we get cute with Curtis Samuel? Yeah, you can. In tournaments, you want Funchess to be out for sure. Torrey Smith, I mean, he can't run right now. He's got a knee injury. Yeah. He can't run. He's not a factor at all. It's not a factor. It's DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, Christian McCaffrey, and Olsen in the passing game. And then on the other side, like, is Djax going to be all right? I don't know. If Djax is out, Godwin looks real good. But I think Djax is going to play. Because I think he was limited on Wednesday. And if he was going to be out, he wouldn't have been limited. Mike Evans got the revenge game against Bradbury, who shut him down in the last contest. Yeah. Winston is the nuts. I mean, last week it's funny. Like my decision was I kept going back and forth all week, and about Winston versus Lamar Jackson, and they finished 0.6 points apart. So it was like it didn't even matter.
Lamar got screwed, man. He got screwed at 2 possessions.
Lamar got really screwed.
2 possessions, man.
Jameis didn't get screwed at all. Jameis was just sitting back there with the cleanest pocket in the league. He had the cleanest pocket in the league last week. And he may have another the Panthers can't rush the passer at all. They blitz a lot, but they get no pressure. Dante Jackson might not play. Dante Jackson is like a really good number 2 corner. I like Winston. I think I'm going to play him in cash this week.
Yeah, I actually think Winston's really interesting, and you pair him up. Like you pair him with Mike Evans, of course, and that's
unless I talk myself into Driscoll.
Evan, don't play Jake Driscoll, man. Or Jeff Driscoll.
It's not Jake. It's
Jeff. Yeah, see, I don't even know his name. Like, I'm not going to play either.
Hey, we got to touch upon the myth of Cameron Brate, too.
All right, talk to me about Cameron.
Oh, yeah, please tell us about the myth of Cameron Brate. All the Cameron Brate truthers were just, like, in my mentions last week. Like,
oh, come on. Like,
man, you didn't want to play him last week. Like,
he was nearly minimum price. How are you not going to play Brate?
I know. Well, I played him, too, in cash.
I played him, too. But, I didn't like it, though.
But listen to this. The last 3 games that he's played with Jameis Winston and O.J. Howard's been out. People forget O.J. Howard got hurt at the end of last year. He's now got 3 for 26, 3 for 37, and 3 for 13. That's that dude. Like that's what that dude's put up.
Touchdown, Cameron Brate. Yeah, no,
well, he only scored in 1 of those games. Like I mean, he's not being like he's just not getting. He's like a dude that's getting peppered with targets from Jameis Winston, like people believe he is. The narrative would lead you to believe.
He had 3 for 26 at the first half last week. What did he finish with?
I'm guessing it was close to 3 for 26.
Don't nobody want to throw to Cameron Brate, man. He went to Ivy League school. He's probably like on the bench, with like his legs like crossed, like reading a book. With some glasses on.
Poor Cameron Brate. The guy just wants to read a book. He just wants to find some good prose, and you're making fun of him.
He deserves it.
All right, let's move on. We're a little bit behind. Let's talk about the Rams at the Lions. 55-point total. The Rams are 10-point favorite on the road, and like Evan, we just played Todd Gurley, man. Like it's like, I don't see a reason we even really need to talk about it. Like, Todd Gurley's just a stud. If you can fit him in, you play him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's not a whole lot to talk about here, honestly, except for like on the Lions side. The Lions side is where it gets interesting. I mean, look, we got Goff in a dome. He should throw. His touchdown expectation should be like 2.5. Like the Lions are terrible. They don't get any pressure. They're terrible. Cooks, like, people will talk about Darius Slay. Like, Cooks will run circles around him. And he should probably stay on one side this week. Just stay off to one side and let the Rams like do their thing, because Cooks will embarrass him.
Teams typically don't shadow Cooks. Like the Cardinals never did it with the Cardinals never did it with Pat Pete. The Xavier Rhodes doesn't do it. He's the type of receiver that it's just like it's almost a waste. You play a dude over the top of Brandon Cooks always.
Yeah, I mean, Cooks has been getting peppered with targets, too.
Honestly, the best way to do it is the Belichick ways, which is where you stick your number one corner on like the number 2 receiver, and then you double the number 1, which no teams do except for the Patriots. Sometimes
we saw the Saints do it on Thursday. They tried it on Thursday.
The Saints do it. You're right.
Well, they bracketed Eli Apple, and they bracketed Julio. Still went off. It didn't matter. Yeah, most of it was in zone, but we saw them try to incorporate that.
So,
yeah, and you mentioned Brandon Cooks, and he's somebody like, look, 32 targets over the last 40 targets over the last 4 weeks, 32 over the last 3. Like, Brandon Cooks is just the guy that I think if you're playing tournaments and fading Brandon Cooks completely, you're just doing it wrong.
Absolutely.
Like, he's just a great
same with Reynolds, same with Robert Woods. I mean,
Reynolds just 4,900. I have some interest there. He saw 8 targets last week, put up 20 DK points. I have interest in him. What are we doing with my boy Theo Reeves? Can we go back to Theo Riddick?
Well, like Evan said, if you want those 12 points, they're there. It's just up to you if you want them. I think there's
6 to 12.
Bro, he got 13 last
No, I want to hear Reeves talk about Stafford though, because Reeves has had Stafford nailed since freaking day one. This is how Reeves rolls. He says his piece, and he's right, and then he doesn't take victory laps.
Wrong a lot. Wrong a lot of times.
No, he gets a lot right. He gets a lot right. City of Cleveland. Can you tell us can we play Matthew Stafford this week? City of Cleveland.
I think he's an interesting tournament play for sure. Obviously, I think if I was in a season long, I still wouldn't be excited to play him. But I think he's definitely an interesting DFS tournament play and across that guy in this game. That's kind of how I wrote him up too. I mean, he just hasn't. The thing is that he just has nobody except for Galladay. That's the troubling part. We're asking guys like Bruce Ellington and Theo Riddick, who we think are fine for cost plays, but these are not statistical elevators. These are not guys that are getting Matthew Stafford to the 30-point threshold we want to see him get to. That's the problem. Galladay is that kind of guy. But when you're giving targets to Michael Roberts, Bruce Ellington, and Theo Riddick, it's fine for those guys in PPR to hit cost and be values. I think Bruce Ellington is a fine guy to play on DK this week too, based on the number of targets. He's 6 catches each of the last 2 games. He's basically a Theo Riddick of wide receivers, though, which is the problem. But I do like Stafford a little bit over there. Yeah, I was worried about all season though about them coming into the year, about their pace of play, and then just the signal was that they were going to try to run the ball more. And then it happened, and then they decided to trade Golden Tate, and then Marvin Jones died, and what happens. I think what's fun about this game though is if you look at the Lions. So the Lions had a horrendous run defense, the whole front half of the year. They were just getting punched in the mouth against the run. They were allowing running backs to average 6 yards per carry before they traded for Damon Harrison. Since then, they've been really good against the run, 3.8 yards per carry. Not that we're worried about Gurley, but what it has done is it's just funneled. The teams have stopped just punching them in the mouth and said, oh, you're going to stop the run? Your pass defense is one of the worst in the league. We're just going to throw all over you now. And teams have just been smoking them in the passing game. Chase Daniel had 19 fantasy points against them on Thanksgiving. Dude, Jared Goff is probably going to flirt with 30 again. Goff's thrown for 300 yards his past 3 games. Just a destruction spot. They've allowed 22 fantasy points per game on average to opposing quarterbacks since they traded for Damon Harrison, where they had only allowed 1 QB to finish higher than QB 14 prior. It's just, I mean, I'm kind of really in on the passing game to both of these teams. We know the volume's going to be there with the Rams being the 10-point favorites. They're not going to get stopped at all in this game.
Yeah, I don't see him getting stopped either. I mean, Evan, do you have a preference amongst these Rams guys, or just you play a little bit of Cooks, a little bit of Woods, and figure out the rest later?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a difficult decision every single week. It doesn't even matter, like with Cooper Kupp out. Cooks is an awesome play. Woods is an awesome play. I think Woods is a particularly awesome play this week, though, against Detroit. He's got a super high floor in all the 3 games that Kupp has missed. He's got at least 70 yards and or a touchdown. His targets and air yards are real strong in all those games, and he's got the best matchup. I mean, you want to chase slot receivers again. You just want to chase like the guys that the Lions would consider like a number 2 and 3 receivers for your team. Those guys are the dudes who are going off. It's David Moore. It's whoever. It's Robert Woods this week, and it's Josh Reynolds. But I also think that Cooks is a good play. So, no, I mean, that's hedge. I guess that's hedging. I'm not going to play any of them in cash, but if I'm playing like, a bunch of tournament lineups, like I'm just seeing whoever fits into them.
All right, well, let's move on to talk some quarterbacks, because there are a ton of really good quarterback plays on this slate. And Reeves, you kind of mentioned earlier in the show, Patrick Mahomes, he's priced so high, 7,600 over on DK. I just
95, isn't he 95 too on FanDuel?
Yeah,
crazy. I think he's 95 every week on FanDuel.
Yeah, I like him, but
you can't pay for it.
Yeah, you can't pay for him. Like it's nuts. Like it's just going to deplete the rest of your roster. I don't think you can do it. But
you can if you play Matt Lacoste and Jermaine Kearse.
Yeah, like I said, you can't play him.
But the problem is the same thing when Gurley got super priced up on FanDuel, and he was like 11-8, like for that stretch, like 11-2.
That was when I stopped playing him.
Yeah, because you have to, because you're saying, all right.
It hurt me for like 2 weeks, though. It hurt for 2 weeks.
It was still good because because eventually what it came down to was like, I can just play 2 8K running backs instead of Gurley and like a lower tier 6K guy. And that's what the problem is with Mahomes. He just plays the wrong position to pay up that bar for, when you can just play guys in the mid tier, they're going to get 75% of his production.
So you mentioned Jameis. I think he's fine. Aaron Rodgers, I'm just not sure they air it out a ton in this game, especially since I like Aaron Jones as much as I do. This like mid 5K range, though, is really interesting to me. You get Andrew Luck, who had a big game, obviously throwing to Eric Ebron in the last game against Jacksonville. He's 5,800. I think Tom Brady's in a really good spot. The problem is I also think Tom Brady's washed, so I don't think I'm going to end up.
Whoa, what?
You heard me.
Hang on, I'm going to tweet this.
Go ahead. Oh, wait, are you just trying to get me in trouble with everybody? You get like a bunch of Patriots fans over on your timeline that are going to start.
I got fans of fucking everything.
Man, that's good. I'm taking a nap after this show, so I'm okay. I'll just sleep through everything. But
I spent the whole morning warding off Redskins fans who were backing Bruce Allen and Dan Snyder. I mean,
that is not a that's
not a happy life. Okay?
No, that's not a hill I'd want to die on if I were a Redskins fan right now. No, guys. Reuben Foster, he's a great guy. Just misunderstood. Okay, but Matt Ryan at home against Baltimore, Lamar Jackson in that same game. Kirk Cousins is way too cheap, only 5,500. So, Evan, who are some of the other quarterbacks you're looking at this week?
Yeah, Lamar for sure. Talked about Jameis. Hang on, let me just pull up the slate real quick. Lamar, Jameis, same as last week. I mean, we still have not seen Lamar's ceiling, by the way. And Lamar has been a top 13 fantasy quarterback in 2 straight games. And he had, 2 tipped interceptions last week. And they did really dumb stuff with him in the first half of last week. It was like, what are they doing? It was like they were out to prove a point last week.
I don't really.
And he's indoors versus a team that can actually.
Indoors on the fast track.
And they're playing a team that can finally score.
This is where he drops the 40 burger.
Yeah, I feel like. I don't really understand this pricing on Lamar Jackson. Like they brought up, why did his price drop if he's facing the Falcons? That doesn't make sense to me.
No one can explain that.
Okay, I need to make
No
sure I'm
one
not
can.
missing
That's
something
right.
because I think Lamar Jackson's a really good play this week. Kirk Cousins at the
It's an
Patriots.
unbelievable play. Let me give you some dudes who I think are, and I have no pulse on this week. So, first one is Marcus Mariota at home against the Jets.
Okay, he's too
What do you
cheap.
guys think?
I mean, he's definitely too cheap. There's so many good quarterback plays on this slate. Like,
Okay,
really,
I don't want to hear about them. I want to hear your thoughts on Marcus Mariota at home against the Jets.
Reeves, it's all you, buddy. Reeves.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I mean, listen, his last 3 full games played, he's been awesome. He's been a top 10 quarterback. The Jets are bad. The thing about the Jets though that worries me is that the Jets side of it. If they're not going to be able to do their part, they've been getting destroyed on the ground the last 2 games.
Ground.
Like just been getting.
It's like a Derrick Henry game, ain't it?
The problem is, and I wrote this. The way I wrote it up was like, is Tennessee a team that can take advantage of that though? To this point in the season, they've shown us that no. Like, so I mean, it's one of those things. Like, it lines up to where you'd say they're going to pound Derrick Henry. They can get Deion Lewis going. The run game can finally get on track. But we've been here. Like, we're in week 13, man. This team has not run the ball on anyone. Like, their running backs average the fewest amount of yards before contact collectively. That's not just a Derrick Henry thing. That's a Deion Lewis thing too. Deion Lewis, since we got on that train, a few weeks ago, he's been awful.
Yeah,
he's horrendous.
Boy, speak for yourself. So
I wasn't
him like multiple weeks in there.
I was not playing him on FanDuel at all, and he was getting like high ownership on FanDuel. I was like, what is happening here? But the signs pointed he's been awful though. I'm on the Kirk Cousins train on DK especially. That 5,500 on DK is just too low. The Patriots have been getting smoked in the passing game.
Yeah.
The past 7 games, they've allowed a QB1. The only 2 guys that haven't been a QB1 over that stretch are Derek Anderson and Josh McCown. That's it. All their guys.
That's a lot of analysis. Okay. I got another couple guys I want to run by you. Big Ben dropping hammers on Sunday night in prime time at home.
Oh, I haven't looked at prime time at all. I don't know. Reeves, you'd have to answer that one. You're muted again, buddy.
I love Big Ben in this spot. He's been, you always love him at home. The Chargers are interesting because they've turned this ship around a little bit defensively. Obviously, they've turned it totally around. But they haven't played anyone. Like, no good passing game for that stretch. And not that I think the Chargers are a bad defense. I definitely think they're good. I looked at, they just have not played any good passing games. Like, the best wide receiver they faced, like, over, like, the past 8 games is, like, Emmanuel Sanders. It's just crazy. Like, they ran into, like, a really great slate of just what's kind of skewed their defensive stats a little bit. I think that the passing game is going to be in play here for the Steelers. Definitely like Ben as a wild card play there because no one's going to want to play him because they're going to see.
All right. I got a couple more. Aaron Rodgers against the Cardinals.
I just like I said.
Could this be a 4-touchdown game?
No, I think they just run it down their throats.
No. Okay.
I don't think so. Just because of the value.
I'm 100% on Aaron Jones. All right, fine. We decided that. And last one. Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Russ drops haymakers at home. You know that. Yeah. Reeves. Look me in the eye.
Oh, yeah. Dude, Russ is pretty good at football.
He's one of them. They're good football players.
He seems to be pretty good at football.
He could play. You know who else could play? Tyler Lockett, David Moore, and Doug Baldwin.
Yeah, the problem is
these dudes are good. Yo, David Moore is the real damn deal. I hope y'all got him in Dynasty, man, because he's the real damn deal.
I mean, the problem is with Russ.
What's his nickname?
East Central.
I found that out 2 weeks ago. That's right. I remember that.
Correct.
The problem is Russ's price is the QB4 on this slate. Like, I'm not paying that for Russ.
Then don't make money.
All right. If last week is any indication, I'm not concerned whatsoever about that. All right, let's move on to some running backs. We gotta speed it up here. Obviously, we typically don't pick on the Bears with running backs. Reeves, what do we think about Saquon this week?
You just keep playing him. He's gonna get 100 yards from scrimmage. You just keep playing him, man.
Yeah, but you mentioned earlier that Kareem Hunt's a guy that you just don't think you're gonna be fading.
Oh no, yeah, it's gonna be really hard to get away from Kareem Hunt. Like, do you remember earlier this season when like people were like, I would get like tweets to be like, man, Kareem Hunt looks like he's going to be a bust, doesn't he? Like, he's only got like 5 catches through 6 games. I just don't think he's going to hit that draft cost. Remember those? Remember those texts and tweets we were getting? I mean, he's just been smashing in the receiving game lately. He has 6 receiving touchdowns over the past 6 games. He's in a great spot against the Raiders. They just get up yards in the passing game, the run game. He's going to be hard to get away from. That game's going to feature a lot of Chiefs touchdowns. And the Chiefs are definitely do some recoil and like having more rushing touchdowns too. Eventually, like that should correct itself a little bit. I know that Mahomes is still going to throw it. There's a ton of touchdowns, but their split of passing and rushing touchdowns should come a little bit back to the pack. I want Evan to talk about Eckler a little bit because I mean, people seem like they want to play Justin Jackson. Like they stop. I've already gotten Justin Jackson questions about Eckler. Like, can we trust him? And then we don't know if Stephon Tuitt's going to play. Without Stephon Tuitt, the past 2 games, the Steelers have gotten punched a little bit.
That happened last year too, actually.
Yeah, you played Eckler.
He missed like 6 games. Steph Tuitt did last year. What? Yeah, Eckler? Hell yeah. Eckler. Are you kidding me? Yes. The key to last week's slate was putting Eckler in your initial lineup, and then when word broke that Melvin Gordon was like what's the thing in Gladiator, like when he's like hold, like you keep him in your lineup amid all this chaos, and like. Everything's like coming at you and like people are like surrounding you and you're like, and then you barrel down and you just stab everyone. That's what happened with Austin Eckler. He scored a touchdown. He had 10 catches. He had like 21 DK points or 17, something like that, something great. And he like was essentially a backup in the game. Now he's going to be a freaking starter. Guess what? The Steelers blitz at the 4th highest rate in the NFL. What's the way to defeat a blitz? How about throwing screen passes to Austin damn Eckler? Okay. Austin Eckler has a 4 of like 6 catches in this game. 6.
Yeah.
6?
I mean, it's just.
Yeah. If he catches, all right, let's not be ridiculous. He has a 4 or 5 catches. Okay. That's 2.5 points right there. Even if you play on FanDuel, it's 5. If you play on DraftKings, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. I mean, he's a lock button play.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you real quick. Let's move on to wide receiver because we're running out of time. If you're paying up, it's Tyreek Hill. I can't help but think that Tyreek Hill is going to be lower owned than he should be just because, again, people like to pay up for running backs, and I'll have to kind of see what happens, especially when ownership projections come out later in the week. But all these upper tier guys, I mean, Tyreek Hill, 9,100, yeah, I'm going to play him. DeAndre Hopkins against Cleveland, 8,200. Nobody ever plays DeAndre Hopkins for whatever reason. Mike Evans, he'll be a little bit more popular this week. What do you think about this wide receiver core, Mr. Reed?
Thielen, auto smash Thielen. I want to put Thielen in where I can get him. He went over 100 yards and a touchdown after balls in the street. Dude, the Patriots just getting smoked by slot guys, just smoked. They gave up 6 to 91 and a touchdown to the Jets guys last week. They're 30th in points allowed to slot receivers, over 25 PPR points per game to slot guys. The Vikings do one thing well on offense, and it's get the ball to Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs. That's all they do well on offense. And they're road dogs against a team that can't guard slot guys. I mean, Thielen's gonna get a bunch of looks in that game.
Yeah, like I mean, are you concerned at all, Evan, about Stephon Gilmore shadowing Diggs or even Thielen?
He definitely won't shadow Thielen. If he's gonna shadow, all right. So this is what he would do. He would shadow Stephon Diggs. However,
who can't guard 1-on-1.
No one can guard Stephon. I mean, Stephon Diggs is Antonio Brown. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous to everyone, but, if you plugged Stephon Diggs into Antonio Brown's role and gave him, 9 years of chemistry with Ben Roethlisberger, like the numbers wouldn't be too different.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
When you blessed Stephon Diggs with as much health, as like Antonio Brown has had over the years, like it wouldn't be that much different. But here's the thing. So this is what we're going to get in all likelihood is Stephon Gilmore chasing the outside receiver, just whichever stud is outside. It'll usually be Diggs, but Diggs moves in the slot 25+% of the time, and Thielen is in the slot over 60% of the time. And what the Patriots really should do, and I think that what they will do, is they'll try to double Thielen and leave Gilmore on Diggs. And that doesn't mean that either of the guys are going to get shut down. That doesn't mean that by any means, but that's probably going to be their game plan. And shit happens in a game, and I think they're both fine plays.
All right, any cheap wideouts that you like this week, Reeves?
I mean, are we doing the Corey Davis thing? I don't know.
Yes.
Why not?
Yep.
It's late in the season. Let's throw another few $100 at Corey Davis.
The Jets are like a wide receiver funnel. Like 67% of the receptions against the Jets have been by wide receivers. It's the highest rate in the league. I mean, they really haven't faced any good tight ends, which is part of the problem.
Yep.
So they're not doing that again this week.
Another thing that stood out to me about in that matchup was that if you just adjust for the last 3 weeks, which I think was since the Titans bye, Corey Davis has 18 targets in the slot, and that's like by far most on the Titans. And guess where is the best place to attack the Jets?
Yeah,
it's like
all year.
Yeah, it's like a what does Al Smith call it?
The flow chart.
Flow chart. Yes, flow chart. I mean,
the screen bump.
Yeah, the Buster screen bump.
Remember when they were playing Perry Nicholson or
slot? But it doesn't even matter. It's like, we got back our starting slot corner. It doesn't matter. We're still getting smashed. Edelman has 5 targets in the slot, goes 4 for 84 and a touchdown last week. For cheap receivers, how about Josh Reynolds? How about Cortland Sutton? How about Antonio Callaway? How about
Christian Kirk?
Nope. How about Chris Godwin if Deshaun Jackson is out?
Yeah, I definitely like that call if D-Jax is out.
How about if you want to get crazy, if you want to get nuts, how about Ryan Switzer?
I don't want to get crazy with nuts. No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good there. All right. Any other cheapies for you, Reeves?
Nah, it's pretty much just a pretty awesome slate of dudes there that we just rattled off.
David Moore.
Ah, that's true.
I like Lockett more than Moore this week.
All right, we got to get off here, everybody. I got to get D-Train home. I know we've got fall over there.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. It's been a lot of fun, though. I'll tell you what, the end is near, and there's still a lot of money to be won. It's been a pleasure doing this show.
It's not that near.
It feels so far away still.
So far.
The post-bye weeks are just brutal, man. Like, it's so much more. All right, we got to get off here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for RotoWorld, of course, for letting everybody out. Thanks for RotoGrinders for showing the show. I'm Eric. He's Reeves. He's Evan. We'll see you guys later. Peace.